For me, thinking has always felt like overthinking. That's how it's been described to me for as long as I can remember. Where most people think in terms of plans A through C, my mind goes to plans A through K, and then I start breaking each one down again. I don't just ask, what if this happens? I ask, what after that, and then after that? Some people enjoy chess on a board. For me, life itself is the chessboard. I'm constantly thinking ahead, anticipating moves, and trying to see where things lead. Thinking for me has always been clear, methodical, precise, accurate. That was true then, and it's true now. The problem back then wasn't that I couldn't think. It was that thinking never shut off. And more importantly, I didn't know the difference between thinking and looping. When I was younger, being inside my own head felt like control. It felt like preparation, like intelligence, safety. If I could see every angle, nothing could catch me off guard. But when confrontation showed up, there was almost always no space between what happened and how I reacted. Not because I hadn't thought about it, but because something else stepped in first. Adrenaline. That familiar surge. That feeling that says, this might be it. This could be the moment everything breaks. There was excitement in that, and there still is, even comfort. Because adrenaline was something I understood, calm, on the other hand, was dangerous. When things were quiet, my mind didn't rest. It turned on itself. That's when anxiety showed up. Self-doubt, self-hate, thoughts of suicide. Not self-harm, because that wasn't permanent, and it felt like weakness. Exposure, like standing still without any armor on, no defense system online. Just me, open and vulnerable. So I stayed in motion. Sometimes that motion looked productive. Sometimes it looked discipline. And sometimes it looked like self-reflection, but it wasn't helping. I would sit alone and replay memories from my childhood over and over, running through what I should have done differently, as if I'd been capable of doing anything at the time. Then I'd run through what I would do now, what I could do now, proving to myself mentally that it could never happen again, that it would never happen again. At the time, that felt like growth, like insight, even like responsibility. But looking back, I can see it for what it was. It wasn't clarity. It was a loop. The same memories, the same arguments, the same imagined outcomes. Not thinking, not understanding, just repetition, wearing the mask of reflection. And the more I replayed it, the more convinced I became that I was protecting myself. At some point, I started to see what I was actually protecting. There was a scared little boy inside me. Not metaphorically, literally. A part of me that was terrified for his life. Cornered, braced for impact. That part didn't disappear when I grew up. It just learned how to think better, how to plan better, how to argue better. It learned how to survive inside an adult body. That's why the thinking felt so relentless. It wasn't curiosity, it was vigilance. And once I saw that, something shifted. Today, when a thought shows up, I can sometimes catch it before it turns into emotion. Not always, but more often than before. There's space there now. Enough space to step back. Enough space to look at it. I can weigh it against thoughts I know are mine. Not reactions, not echoes of the past. From there, I get to decide what I do with the emotion it brings. Sometimes I let it pass. Sometimes I don't. But the difference is that I see it happening. Our thoughts grow and change as we do, even the ones we started as protection. Over time, they can become so layered, so adapted, that we forget where they come from. We start responding to the shape they've taken instead of the fear that built them. And if you don't slow down enough to notice that, you can spend your whole life thinking without ever actually being present.